Juzzie and this is my 2022 Suzuki GSX S750. In this video I'm going to be unboxing and installing a Translogic Quickshifter. The service from this company was really good. Like most people, I'd gone straight to eBay, typed in Translogic S750 and saw that the product was $1,020 plus $34 shipping, I think it was. So I'm in Brisbane, Australia, and if you want to buy this unit from the Translogic website, Translogic is from UK, but if you're not in the UK, you have to purchase it from the USA website. So I went to the USA website and I had to fill out a form saying what my bike was, and in a day later, due to the time difference, a person emailed me back saying, yep, this is the one for your bike. Here's the included instruction manual. If you're happy to go ahead with a purchase, please email back saying so and we'll generate an invoice. Tell us when you've paid. So I did that. The price came to $880 delivered. So I think it was about $170-ish, $175 cheaper than what it would have been to purchase it from whoever's organizing or selling as a third-party shipper on eBay. So if you're happy to wait a couple of days' time, go ahead, order it through the website and get it shipped at a much cheaper price. So usually I complain about how long it takes for parts to come from America, and in this case it came really quickly. Because it was an expensive price to pay for shipping and I wasn't quoted any others, I just went ahead and paid it because it was much cheaper than purchasing from eBay, and I think it arrived within a week, which for American standards, given that I buy a lot of stuff from Japan instead, it was actually pretty good. So it came in this box inside that package and it was undamaged. Here's what it looks like, front and back. It's got the UK logo on there. Obviously the American company is just the distributor, but here's what it looks like. I have opened it once, but not actually opened any of the packaging inside. So inside you've got this bubble wrap bag. I'll take it all out. A couple of decals, a rod, a number of zip ties, so I shouldn't be needing my own. Some tools, so a cheap flathead screwdriver. It looks like a rubber surround to go around the shifter so that the cables keep together, but I'm not so sure yet. Okay guys, so here we are. Starting off, you need to have a 5mm hex to undo these sides. When you go to undo this, make sure you pull out from the bottom first. There is a plastic clip here, so you pull out from the bottom gently. Don't just ram it out, you have to pull it out down towards the front bike so that you don't break that clip that's in this top corner. Whilst you're on the same side still, you can still use a 5mm hex to undo the bolt for the seat. Same thing for the other side now. Pull out from the bottom, gently towards the front tyre. Same thing for the seat. Then you can lift at the front to take the seat off, and then you've got access to inside your bike. You also will need to use your key to open up the seat cap. Take all the stuff out of your spare storage area. Disconnect the negative from your battery. That's because you are going to be playing around with wires around your coil pack. Okay, so I found it easiest to undo the bolt here so that you can slide this out so that then you've got room to adjust and undo this locking nut to get this rod out. The kit does come with this so that you can plug it in and connect it up if that's how the factory setup is on the bike. However, on this particular one, so on a babyface one, it's got a rod here that is of the same thread, so I can carefully thread that in. Alright, so here we are with the DuraShift mechanism installed. As you can see here, I've decided to not go the route that people usually do. It looks nice and factory here. You cannot see the cable from the top at all. Because I've got the babyface rear sets installed, the eyelet rod that is installed or comes with this unit actually has a thread in it. So here is the factory sets, and as you can see here on the back side, the eyelet has no shaft. So basically when you get the DuraShift item, it comes with this. So this normally threads into here, and then this thread goes into there. Okay, so because I've got the babyface rear sets, or if you've got any aftermarket set that uses an eyelet that comes with a thread installed, you more than likely will need to use your shift rod that comes with the rear sets. What that then means is, because the mechanism is longer, you have to move this, so instead of it sitting here, it sits this way, like this. There's no issues with it fouling at all. So as you can see, I can go up and down. It's not fouling there. It's not fouling between this rod and the frame. It's great. Best thing is that you're not installing it the way I've seen a couple of people do. Typically what people do is they have this cable on the top or the bottom and they loop it back. They then fit it here through the frame, and right here on the opposite side of the frame is the chain, and it's unguarded. So if you run a cable through here, you risk cutting through that cable or just it going all wrong. So I don't recommend that you do that. So what I've done is I've installed a cable so that it is facing downwards, and then as you can see here, underneath the sprocket cover there is a mount so that this rod, the spline for this rod, is affixed. So I've put a zip tie here and I've ran the cable through here so it's nowhere near the chain, and then that cable feeds through the back completely away from the chain and is able to be fed straight up. It's not fouling the shock in any way, and it has no way of getting cut. So now let's move to removing the tank so that we can see how we can join up the cable from the top.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Fearless. you assume the story's over now. I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall. Fear outweighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it in.
Alright, so the good news is that yes, I was able to simply just lift this up. I had to remove my mallet prop to get out of the way so that I could lift the front part of it up. This small little hole is where all of your air gets ducted into from the front. Sort of points down towards the top of the radiator. So I was able to push it back a bit up. You can see here that the rubber intakes are off, the butterfly valves for the intake. So now, if you have a look through here, I hope you can see that properly, you can see the coils. So you've got the 4 coils there going to each cylinder. So now I will be able to route the cable up and figure out the connection of these. Okay, so as you can see there, just pulling through the gears, not going anything crazy, just checking that it works all right. I did find that when I was changing from first to second gear, at times it would just skip into neutral. And so I came home a couple of times and just tried adjusting the first shift force point, and I ended up settling with liking it at 25%. So you can see that first dial is directly facing towards the left. It was at 50%. I tried in between that, so around about 35-40%, and it still skipped once, but it didn't skip in any of the other gears. So I just felt I would try it at 25, so directly to the left, leaving the other 2 directly straight up, not changing anything about the interrupt channels, and it works great for me. Make sure if you've got a GSX S750 that you connect the green and blue wire from the DuraShift unit to the green and yellow wire, and then that the other plug goes to the negative on the ring terminal. Just comments, just brief thoughts. It's fantastic. It's an awesome feeling to be able to push through the gears without changing. It obviously makes the ride so much more smoother. To me, it felt very much like driving my EvoX with a dual clutch transmission, but obviously this is doing it a different sort of way. So the one thing I didn't really like though is that when this box gets tucked up into here, there isn't just quite enough slack if you run the wires down the left side. So I'm not going to take everything off, but I did find that whenever I wanted to change the settings on this, because it sort of sat here, it was a bit hard to see, hard to get the screwdriver in. So I just feed it through here. So if it just had 5 to 10 centimeters extra wiring loom, that would have been fine. Again, if I ran the loom that way, I'm not quite sure if it would have been all right, but it's not much of an issue just removing the box from underneath here. Once I've got it set, I just simply feed it back up, place it there, and then it's done. So no issues with the wiring. I've checked over it, made sure that underneath it's fine. It's nowhere near the chain. So I'll simply just put the bike back together now, and we'll be good to go. I can't wait to ride to and from work into town this week. If you've got any questions about this install, please feel free to comment down below. This is set up just for the GSX S750. If you've got a question about other setups, please don't ask me. Only ask me if it's relating to this bike. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.